Hey guys, JH. Welcome to Practice Tree. Okay, today I would have to give the title of this video to Confession Time. And I say that, guys, because I've been asked a lot over the last couple of months by my students and just guys that I've known for a long time, and and I'm talking about probably a couple of hundred guys have just said, with all the swings that I've taught over the years, all the different permutations of a golf swing per se, I must have a favourite, and there must be one that in my heart of hearts believe that is the best golf swing. Well, guys, there is, and I have to confess up to it being, without doubt, unequivocally, Mo Norman mechanics. Absolutely no doubt. I've played my best golf with it. I've seen Mo hit thousands of shots, and I've never seen, and I saw him the first time I met him, I think he was 61 and 62, and even then he just killed it. But even right up until I last saw him when he was 68, he was still just absolutely killing it. And of course he was far from a super physical specimen in those days, but his mechanics never left him. Okay, what makes the Mo Norman mechanics so good, and why do I think they're so good? Well, clearly because of the ball flight. You achieve a ball flight that you can't achieve with other processes, and I've never seen anyone hit the ball with the ball flight that Mo Norman had. So that's the main reason for me. The swing itself, guys, if you do it along the lines of the basic premise and underlying structure of Mo Norman's swing, I mean, we won't be able to swing like Mo because no one's built like Mo, and we don't have his timing or his componentry or his flexibility in places. So we'll never swing like him, but we can use the premise of his process and his structure and swing within those guidelines, and that's what I do. I don't swing like Mo Norman. I have a hybrid version of it. But for me, the stability factor, the wide stance, the connection on the chest here, I don't have as much extension that way as Mo did because I'm built differently, and that compromises my horizontal and vertical centres of gravity, so mine is a hybrid there, but I've got the connection. The fact that you are trying to stay as square as you possibly can with the body when you face the ball, square to closed, I like that because that stops the club or the shoulders pulling the club off its attack line in a compromised way. This way, basically, we're still coming into the ball, to inside. So it's inside to back to from inside to out to the ball and back on the quarter circle over here. So it's a circular motion still. But the fact that we have a lateral process in the golf swing, we try and keep the legs bent as opposed to the legs straightening and forcing us away from the golf ball. Mo was smart enough to work out very early on in his career that if he bent his legs coming in, he would stay with the ball and go to the ball, as opposed to if that lead leg straightens, it invariably it makes the spine straighten, and we move away from the golf ball. And so that's a really good facet of the golf swing. But by staying here and being lateral, we don't have a lot of unnecessary rotational processes going on before impact. The single axis is clearly an advantage. I don't have the single axis to the extent that Mo did, and I don't have it totally in line with the trail arm. I did when I first came back from seeing Mo in 91. When I came back and played very well with that, but after that I just modified it and went away from it to suit myself, my own balance factors. So yeah, if you can have single axis, which is club shaft and trail forearm on the same line, you're not going from double axis to single axis, so you're not changing the effective length of the golf club or the way it comes in to the ball, and we don't have the wrist doing this, which has a propensity to lift us up. So single axis is certainly a major plus. Now Mo was left-handed, but he dragged enormously, strongly. Pulled hard with his left hand, really pulled hard with his left groin, his left knee, everything. But he kept his head back outside his trail leg, his trail knee. So the pulling is a major plus if you have the capability to pull. I'm actually the same strength in both arms because of the training I've done all over the years. I lift exactly the same weights both arms, but I don't have that normal, because I'm not left-handed, I don't have that normal body preference of motion and applied percentage differential. I mean, I'm not biased towards the left side, whereas Mo was, so he could pull much harder than I can. But pulling, guys, pulling, lateralizing and getting here and waiting till the last possible moment and then firing that trail hand as hard as you can, which I'll talk about down the track. I think that's the atomic particle of his golf swing. So that's why I like it, guys. The swing becomes abbreviated more. Mo swung the club quite long when he was young. You know, I've seen videos of him, and he was here when he was young because he was quite thin and very flexible, so he swung it back here. But as he got older and more solid in the build and lost a little bit of the flexibility because he didn't swing it that far, and that's where, and when he came to prominence, that's all people really saw of Mo Norman. They thought that was his golf swing. When he was young, he wasn't like that. He was longer, but he still had the single axis. Absolutely. It's just that his range of motion diminished as he got older. So the next question is, JH, well, why haven't you used it if you think it's the best? Because, guys, commercially I've taught a lot of people, and you just can't teach one process. In my teaching facility, you wouldn't have been commercially viable from a teaching point of view if you just taught, one doctrine. So I never did that. But, I taught, thousands of people that wanted to learn Mo Norman. There was so much of it. And I played amazing golf with it. I shot all my lowest scores with the Mo Norman golf swing. So, yeah, guys, that's a confession. And I've been working on it of late for probably the last, 7 or 8 days really diligently, because I found, and I'll tell you in another video, an amazing thing happened. Mo gave me a book in 95, and he told me that his secret was in the book. And he pointed to the book, but it was a book that I bought from Natural Golf, and it was called Golf Reform in Hand. I bought 100 copies of them to give away to people over here, and Mo's was an autographed version of that. And I thought he was referring to the actual story in the book, which I'd read, a couple of days before. And I never ever looked in his book, the one he gave me, until about 8 days ago. And I found it by accident, 21 years later. And inside the book was a paragraph highlighted with an arrow. And that's what he was referring to. That specific, that little atomic particle. It lay dormant for 21 years, guys. And I'm using it in my golf swing now. But I'll talk about that on another tape. but amazing story. And once I got it, I always saw it in his golf swing, but once I got it in the swing, it's just a different world. But I've wasted 21 years, but that's another story. So guys, it's one I'll share with you soon. So it's the wide stance, it's the compactness of the backswing, it's the lateralizing in the downswing, it's staying as square as we possibly can, it's delaying the release of the shoulders as long as we can, and of course the release of the lower body. The only time it releases for Mo is after impact, post-impact, and then he just stands up to release pressure and just has normal rotation towards the target. So for people that don't have a lot of flexibility and have got older, or even people that are not older but don't have flexibility or just have a lot of trouble with a long swing, you could do a lot better than do Mo Norman. So my version of Mo Norman is the wide stance. I just ignite the club. Ignition move for me is I just pull it straight back around my rib cage. My right elbow goes around my rib cage. I move this way, I pull, and at the last possible moment I fire this hand as hard as I can, and it's in the last fractional part of the golf swing. And that's part of the atomic particle, guys, which I'll elaborate on in another video. Yeah, so guys, if you want to just take out a lot of the unnecessary rotational factors and the difficulties associated with balancing yourself, it's always easier to balance if you're closer to the ground and the legs are flexed. I don't flex my legs as much as Mo because I don't have the groin flexibility that he did. And of course my right foot doesn't stay down as long as his. Okay guys, this is what it looks like. Haven't hit any shots today, but that's the good thing about this swing. You can come dead cold, pick up the club, and you can flush it. Oh man, oh man. Whew. I love it. I used to love doing that at clinics. You'd be talking away, rattle on for 20 minutes, and then you'd just step up and just blitz one. And you'd have, 50, 60, 80 people, and they would just go gobsmacked. And because I had it down pat in those days, I could really hit it unbelievably well with Mo's golf swing back in those days. It was just extraordinary. So it's the... Guys, you've got to see that. I mean, you've got to see that. I don't know what the audio's like, and of course these little soft microphones with the windsocks on them, they tend to kill any of the dynamic sounds. They're designed to do that, so that the impact probably sounds a little bit like a cashmere insert, but I promise you, I mean, that is just flush city. And I've never been... JH is no flusher, but this system certainly helps you to be a better striker. And guys, there's no crazy divots. It's the same attack on the ball all the time. Well, I've warmed up now, we've hit 3 shots. So I might get really square onto the camera. Now guys, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. It doesn't move, and since I found the atomic particle, which lay dormant like a Da Vinci Code for 21 years, I mean, I can't miss it. I mean, I used to hit it pretty good anyway, but now it's I used to hit it pretty good with the Mo system. I used to hit it straight, but now it's laser. Guys, just going straight over the sign out there. We've got a really hard crosshead wind here. Okay, dead cold. Watch this. Driver. Dead cold. Same golf swing, guys. Why wouldn't it be the same result? It's the same golf swing. I really do a good job of staying back on this one. The right heel down, head back. Like that. Okay guys, you're not going to be a long drive champ with this type of swing, but you'll have adequate length. I don't lose any length. Okay, let's put a good one on. They're driver length, but with wedge accuracy. I mean, they're ballistically straight. Like, oh look, the rubber wouldn't hit it straight on that. It just wouldn't. Guys, hitting a few shots because I just want you to see the simplicity of it. There's a lot more intricacies in it, which I'll go into. I'll start a phase 2 of Mo normal mechanics instruction, okay? I used to say to Mo, if you want another 20 yards, Mo, how do you get that? He said, I just turn more. Don't change the swing, just turn more. So he talks up more. So I'll talk up a little bit. That's turbo time. Okay, last shot. This is just a little teaser, guys, because we're going to do some stuff on Mo, and I'll give you some real inside info, some of the stuff that I remember from days gone by with Mo. That's just absolutely killed. Okay guys, just a little bit of reintroduction back to Mo. We'll do more as the week goes on, but I'm back with Mo. I'm going to do his system justice, particularly now that I've found the holy grail in the book that he gave me 21 years ago. Okay guys, we'll do a little bit more on, we'll do a lot more on that as the week progresses.